Hi guys! So today I thought we'd be doing a little bit of another book talk. That book is Sweet Reckoning by Wendy Higgins. It's the final in the series. First two is Sweet Evil and Sweet Peril, and this is the third book. I have found out there's actually a fourth one coming out, and it's from the main love interest Caden's point of view. So I'm very interested to get that because I'm kind of in love with him. Basically, this book, I'm gonna be honest, I probably picked Sweet Evil up probably 3 years ago, and Sweet Peril a good year. It could be coming up to 2. I don't know when I last read it, so it's been a while for me since I've been in this world, but it continues on pretty well from where the second one left off. So basically it's about fallen angels. They possess the bodies of humans who hopefully have died. They embody like the 7 deadly sins. So, you know, you've got like the Duke of Lust, Duke of Pride, Duke of Envy, Duke of Greed, Duke of Wrath or Wrath. I've never known how to pronounce that word properly. Duke of Gluttony, Duke of Adultery, Duke of Lies, Duke of Murder, Duke of Theft, Duke of Substance, and Duke of Hatred. So as you can tell, I read out a lot more than 7 deadly sins, but they kind of embody these bad, for lack of a better term, ideals in the human race. They've aligned themselves with Lucifer. It's evil. They're trying to corrupt the human race. They get off on it. They enjoy it, obviously, because they're fallen angels. They're all men. They sleep with human women. They have offspring who are called the Nelphim. They're called the Neph, which I'm going to refer to them as. The main character is Anna, and she's an Neph. Her dad is Belial. He's the Duke of Substance Abuse. Okay, so that's like physical addictions and drugs and alcohol. So Anna, she's a goody two-shoes. Like, she's so pure and innocent. Like, her mother, oh god, how do I say this without ruining it? Mother's an angel, okay? So like, her dad's a fallen angel demon, and her mother's an angel, so she's like in the middle of these two forces, and she was adopted out. We're at the point in this book now where major war's gonna happen because they've kinda working out that their kids, who they treat like absolute shit, their kids also have to work. They've kind of worked out that they may be getting overthrown, and they're kind of really sus on Anna and her father. They want to keep the Neph like separated because they don't want them to rise up and overthrow them, and that's essentially what's gonna happen in this book. Like, the war is happening. I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would. I don't know, like, I really liked the first, well, I feel like I liked the first two, but after reading this one I realized that Anna really kind of annoys me. Like, I don't know if it's just because I'm possibly 2 to 3 years older now, having gone and read this book, like 18-year-old who's like, woo, you know. From that aspect, I was kind of hard to connect with her. I put the book down several times because there were some things I had some serious issues with. It's not a bad trilogy. It's good, it's not terrible. It could have been so much more. I feel like this thing was built up to be a lot bigger than it was, and then it happened and it was very anticlimactic. You kind of just went, we've been spending pretty much like 2 whole books trying to build up this really big thing happening, and then it's just like flat lines right at the end. Flat lines. It's just like, really? You know, and Anna annoyed me. I thought she was a bit immature at times because she's all like, I'm so pure and innocent, and it sounds bad, but I don't think she's very realistic of 18-year-olds in today's day in society. It's great to finally have read the final book and just see how their stories have ended. There are some things with this book that I have some issues with. So I'm going to talk about that now. If you guys haven't read this book and you want to, you should probably go because I'm going to spoil it completely. Bye! Okay, so the entire time I was reading this book, like, it took me a while to read a book this thin. Like, okay, it's not thin, but you know, like, you know what I mean? It's not thick. It took me a while because I just would read it and I'd be like, is this seriously happening right now? Is this happening? It was just blowing my mind, but not in a good way. It turns out I actually read the first couple of chapters a couple months back. I don't know how long ago, but I did in fact read them. And so I was reading it and I'm going, wait, this actually happens? This wasn't like bad fan fiction that I read? Like, it happens. Like, oh my god. So the first thing that really irritated me, that sets up like right straight up in the book, is between Jay and Mana. They really like each other, and Mana kind of tried to destroy his relationship with his girlfriend at the time, Veronica. Veronica and Jay break up. Anna takes him out to a club where he's DJing, and they get together, essentially go back, have sex. A week or 2 later, the same thing happens. Ginger flies over and her and Anna go to Jay's place, and Anna has this gift where she can see sort of like life forms. So she stares at Mana and she's pregnant. They've had sex like twice. And she can already tell that that creeped me out, that she could tell that she was already pregnant. I know that's how it happens, but that for me was weird, that it was pretty much the night after and she's like, oh, you've got a little like, human being. It's not a human being yet because I can see another life force starting to grow. And I was just, oh, that didn't sit well with me because you also find out that the Neff women die if they have a kid. Straight from the get-go, we know Mana's going to die. We're like 20 pages in, if that. Poor Jay, who knows nothing about this world, is going, what do you mean you can tell she's pregnant just by looking at her? Like, I will give him this. He steps up to the plate. He goes from being like this 18-year-old guy who's supposed to be going off to college. He's the parent. You know, she's not going to be around for it, which is horrible because she was a great character. I feel bad for him. I had issues with that because like, you're killing off a really great important character. It rubs me the wrong way. So another reoccurring theme throughout all of the books is the fact that Anna is a virgin. So they have this sword hilt and the only way you can wield it is if you are pure. So she's a virgin, but because she is the daughter of a fallen angel, she's supposed to be working, which means she's also supposed to be having sex. And she's very much like, no, I want to wait till I'm married to have sex. And this becomes a big issue because she kind of has to deal with this problem. And the solution that her father, this is my big issue with this, her father is the one that turns around and says, oh, you and Caden should get married and then you can have sex. And what's more pure than having sex with your husband? And it annoyed me so much because to me it wasn't genuine. I was essentially told that he had to propose to her and that they were going to get married. He didn't have a say. He didn't have time to make a proper proposal. It was just half-assed proposal. It annoyed me. He didn't want to get married. And literally 3 hours later they're getting married in an aeroplane. That was it. And then they have sex that night. And her mum, who's an angel, comes down and is like, woo, we're all in heaven celebrating. And that was creepy. The fact that all these angels are just like watching them and so happy that they're married and creeped me out so much. From this point, all they do is really want to have sex. It's just every time they see one another, they just sex, and it's so frustrating. Because it's like, come on guys, like there's more happening than this, like you need to get over it and just do something a bit more productive. I really do a lot, like not a lot. I feel like a lot didn't happen in this book except for she gets married and then the fight scene, you know, gotta now go on the run. So Caden sees his dad and he says like, if you find her, you've got to bring her in because she's got the sword. We don't know how she can possess it because she is in fact no longer a virgin. I got the creeps a lot in this book. It was awful. So he essentially has to arrest and hand in his wife. Yeah, that happened. They're taken to a club and she's in like leather and there's just a lot of talking. All it is, and like, oh, by the way, this prophecy you've had for I don't know how many years is wrong. And it's just what? So they just talk and there's this mini little fight scene in this club. They just have this really retarded fight and then Cope dies. He's killed. So his father leaves the body he's inhabiting, goes into Cope's body and then kills him and he comes back to life, and I was just weird. It was weird. I just, nah. Like, I didn't like Cope, so I wasn't bothered if he was gonna die or not. Oh, she does something with the sword and massive earthquake in this club and all the evil people fall down and they're dragged back to hell and they stay there and all the good guys go back to heaven. That is it. This epic scene that they've been building up upon for like 2 books. There's gonna be this massive fight and it's just anticlimactic. I was just waiting for this really awesome like kick-ass fight scene. Like, I'm gonna give him this. Caden was awesome. Because like he just grabs this knife which he's doused in holy water and he just throws it and it hits the guy right in the eye, and I was just like, that was awesome. That was freaking fantastic. The dukes just disappear. That was it. And then it just ends, woo, everything's great sort of vibe. And then you go to the epilogue, which is I think 6 years later. Mana dies. I feel like for a character that you've known from the first book, it's mentioned in passing. It's not given, I think, the full attention they should have given it. But it's just like 2 paragraphs in the end of the book. I just feel like I should have cried and I didn't have that. Don't think she got the death she deserved. I just feel like it was an easy way to kill off a character who was central to the story. I feel like she got ripped off in that sense, and we as fans and readers of the book didn't get a proper sense of closure for it because she just died and I was like, yep, she died, but her kid's cute, so it's all good. And then so Anna and Caden, they're still married. They had conversation previously that they weren't gonna have kids and I was like, oh, just have kids. And then I remembered that Anna would die and that pretty much just defeats the purpose of all 3 books. We fought to keep her alive and now I'm like, oh, just kill her off so she can have kids, it's fine. So they go to adopt and they find these 2 boys who are brothers. Caden's really hesitant about kids because of everything he's been through. And then this little girl keeps saying Bambo when she's looking at Caden. And it's so sweet. I'm like, what does Bambo mean? Like, I thought it was her name at first, but turns out in her language it means father. So she's looking at Caden and saying dad. Caden and her kind of just hug and they cry and it's so sweet. I finished the book and it was good. It was okay. I don't feel like it was great. I wanted to say it was great, but it wasn't. I did enjoy it, but I put it down several times because there were some things that had me shaking my head because I think they were just a bit too sex crazed. She needed to grow up. She needed to get over the whole goody goody 2 shoes aspect. You don't have to be perfect all the time. and I felt like she was so busy trying to be perfect and act perfect that her character had some serious flaws for me, and I just didn't find it genuine, which is a shame because I really liked her and Caden together. They got married and I wasn't even excited about it because I didn't feel like it was a genuine marriage, because it was taken away from them to make that decision on their own. He should have made that choice and not have been told by her dad. By the way, whose dad says to somebody, marry my 18-year-old daughter? No. Dad is supposed to be like, get the hell away from my daughter, you're not marrying her. That's all I think I have to say on this. Let me know what you guys actually think of this book. Was I the only one who had these feelings about it? Am I alone? I hope not. Unless you absolutely loved it, then tell me why. I will see you guys next time. Bye!